I want to thank Rabbi Yosef Yafi. I want to thank Torah Anytime, Kavish Kacha Pratis, Allah Shano. I thank the Rabbeinu Shalom himself for giving me the opportunity to be Mezaka the Rabbim. Rabbi Isai, I was just saw this minute, Mamash, I'm browsing around Betachon. Thank you so much. And I just saw a bomba. I've seen this before. It's a bomba. It's Bashkacha that I just saw it. Now, this is a hafla of Felade Kavod. Here it goes. Now, Rabbi Yerucham, he brings that Rabbi Yerucham over here. There's a gar chashiv sefer called Shabbatochem Yid Folk. So riesige tamachachim is beautiful stuff. Kedai to get whatever he makes is quality. That stuff. Anyway, now this is Rabbi Yerucham. Yisai gadol b'musa. The sefer chayves havavos will not help you. Did you hear Rabbi Yerucham? Sefer das Torah Rabbi Yerucham. Pashas Kisavai Amid Nun Hey. Chayves Havavos will not help you. You hear this? A person should be mechaber for himself a whole sefer, his own sefer. Now, if you want Chayves Havavos to help you out, that's great. If you see yourself there, and you can apply your present situation in the Chayves Havavos, that's for you. But unfortunately, people immediately, they see Musas Forum that have beautiful things. It's not for them. Here's Rabbi Yerucham. Write your own Musa Sefer. I heard the same thing from Rav Orlansky. The last Talmud of the Altam Slobodka told me, write your own Musa Sefer. You write, every door is different, every matzav is that you need certain things that other people, they don't, it's not for them. You have to take what works for you. This, look, he makes a sefer shalom. Make your own, a whole sefer. You know what everybody should do? They should go home and collect all those pieces that turn them on, that make them better people, that make them happy. Collect those shtikalach from all the other Musas Forum and make your own Musa Sefer. Things that are applied to you, that work. I got to tell you something. I once heard from Shlomo Freifeld. He was not stam. He wasn't stam. He was a rees. The Welt has no musik how big he was. Reb Shlomo Freifeld was a machanach shein kamayu. I went to him as usual. I was kvetching that I'm quiet. I was terribly quiet in my younger years. I couldn't open my mouth. It bothered me. I used to speak about it. Every time I went to speak to somebody, it was like, maybe that's why I'm zeichet to something. The Mesiras never, to speak to Reb Chatzkel, to speak to Rav Olba. I went to all these people to get it up. I went to the revisions. I went to big, I went to everybody, mainly to Bali Musa. And it wasn't easy for me. It's a big schus. I'm telling you now, Rabbi said, when you go to speak, first, the more you go, the better it is. Watch out. Sometimes it's not kedai. You have to know. Every case is different, every person's different. But often, especially before Yom Tov, I would make phone calls. What do I do with Chanukah? What's the avodah of Chanukah? Make some phone calls to your Rabbeim. How do I get the most out of a Heilige Chanukah? What should I work on? People who know you are the best people. Meir Derech, someone's a Meir Derech. I checked out somebody with Rebella Bear. If he's Kedai, he says, yes, this person's a Meir Derech. He'll put you on your feet. Good. I want that man. You pick these people that are there to put you on. You hear this? You can have beautiful raid. Beautiful stuff. What divrei Torah. Where are you holding when you walk away from that shmooze? Is it speaking to you, or it's speaking to someone else? I once stopped myself cold in the middle of a shmooze in front of hundreds of people. I was about to say one of my gorgeous shtickles, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I figured I want the Yom to hear exactly why I'm not going to do it. And I said, Rabbi Sai, I'm going to tell you stuff, you'll love it, but it's not for you. It's not helping you. It's doing nothing for you. You want to hear a nice vod? Let's get a Taisus and a Rambam and Hilchos, something that's, you don't catch him, something that's not negated. And why don't you get, you want a nice vod, a nice teher, a nice fine, but you want to grow? You want to be lamaisa? You have to hear what talks to you, what's hitting you and helping you. You don't even chop the subtle depression that you get. Not always so subtle from hearing, oh, look what this gadol did. It's nice, but you're not steiging from that. The ideal, you got to get all the Rebbe who knows you, understands you. And very often, the best person is you yourself. You got to look at your experience. Does this help? Does that help? How does this make me feel? Write your own Musa Sefer. There's nothing like it. Anyway, so I stopped. I didn't want to say anything. Now the sugya of favorite sugya. I kind of hearing something again and 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 again is exactly what you have to do all your life. You want to broaden your scope, and you want to hear all different nice new vertlach. You sure that's good for you? It's good. What's wrong with learning? What's wrong with a block Gemara? That's what it's all about. It's great. But you want to stag, you're working on yourself. You've got an issue, you go over again and again, the same shtick Torah. Yeah, Adarabba. My sugi is Adarabba. Boy, do I. People need chizik in that. Now, I'll tell you an Adarabba. The Ksav Sefer, a bomb. The Heilig Ksav Sefer. The Yosef HaTzadik was a mutzlach. You know why? Because every move he made, that everything that happened bad in his life, he said, Gam zu l'tova. Only good is coming out of this. Ksav Sefer says that. Every inch. He was thrown in the pit. Watch. He was whatever. Paitifar. It's l'tova. Everything, something good's coming out of this. All his horrible, what he went through, Gehenna, sitting in Mitzrayim alone, or all these black, Bem Tesh Shari Tuma. What's he doing there away from home? There's something good is coming out of this. Day and night. That's the whole Yosef HaTzadik. Every move he made, the Heilig Sefer, that's the secret of his success. Everything in his life, no, something's good. I made such a fool out of myself yesterday. Good will come out of that. Now listen to this. Rabbeinu Hirsch says this, by the way. Now I'm combining Rabbeinu Hirsch says the same Yesod. It's psukim. It's psukim. Yosef HaTzadik says it himself. Lach Yosam Rab. The Alton Kelm says, look what you sold me. Look what Sinas Chinam did. Your Sinas Chinam saved the world. How do you like that one? I'm spelling it out in bold letters. But that's what we're saying. Rabbeinu Hirsch brings that out. Even a chait. Don't look for trouble. But even no matter what it is, Eibishter will turn it good. He says this, the Alton Kelm as a shmuz, Atzas Hashem Yisakum. He's going to take that difficult situation and make it come out the way he wants things to happen. You think you're going to bypass what the Eibishter wants. Go your own way. But soon the Eibishter will do what he wants. He's going to get things. He was saved the world, was nervous. But anyway, we're talking about the secret of success of Yosef HaTzadik was every move he made, Gamzu l'tova. It's only good. Now listen, I was thinking a little bit about this. You insist on seeing good in everything and anything. It's a cold day. Baruch Hashem. Now, if you're a real Baal Musa, you don't just, the Gemara says, when you say a name twice, it's Chiba. Yaakov. Why do you say it twice? Chiba. By the way, you didn't say Yisrael, Yisrael twice. He said Yaakov, Yaakov twice. You know, whenever it says Yisrael, says Rabbeinu Hirsch, says Baruch Chaim HaKadosh, Yisrael means Simcha. Whenever it says Yaakov, it means Atzvus. That's what they say. He's on a low. Yaakov is, things aren't going. Now listen, after he got the name Yisrael, go count. I counted. How many times did it say till the end of Bereshis? How many times did it say Yisrael? How many times did it say Yaakov? Yisrael about 20, 25 the most. Yaakov about 70. I mean, Yaakov walked around all day like not too many happy moments. What's going on here? Yaakov Avinu. What's here? What's the pshat? How do you learn pshat new? Now Yisrael. Now I wanted to say a little different. Knech, because I'm going with Rashi, who says Yisrael is lashon srana. I have a whole pshat over there that whenever he's in touch with Yosef, you get a Yisrael. I counted about 6-7 times when he's dealing with Ephraim and Asher. Of the 20 times that you got Yisrael, a whole chunk of it, it's always with Yosef. Yisrael, Ahavas Yosef, Mikol Banav. Right? Oh, here he becomes Yisrael. Vatchi Ruach, Yisrael, when he heard that Yosef was okay, Yisrael, everything Yisrael. Come inside. This is hot full of a fella. Come inside, Rabbi Shenkelevsky. He's out in the Vardigan, Gunim, it's Kedai, the Elam should get this stuff. It's hot full of a fella, entertaining. And thank you so much. Good stuff. Caramel. Abishter created caramel. You want Amuna? Caramel ain't kleinigkeit. Caramel. Created vodka. Created chocolates. Created chashuva yingalite over here. The best in Lakewood are sitting here. There's no question about it. What's back there? We have a year. They come here from Muncie, these people. You know how much Elam hobby you? Let's say Mendel says nothing. Or Mendel falls asleep in the middle of his own drasha. And you guys came all the way from Muncie. What happens if I take a pillow suddenly and the guys don't want to wake me up? Because they also need a break. Whatever it is. And you came all the way from Muncie. How much Elam hobby you getting for every inch? It's not a joke. The Eibishter will pay you back. You went all out. You know what I used to do? Listen to this. I want to tell you what a great guy I am. You know what I did years ago? Everything has a reason. I used to put a lot of cases in putting together vadim for other people. For a big, very chashuv, I went to sugar to help them out. Now, here's the Eibishter pay me back. Eibishter is going to pay you back. Whatever you do, you're going to get paid back. Now, you know what the guys are going to do? Not you. My chevra are smarter than that. And all those averis you did, you're going to get paid back. Now, watch out with that. Watch out. What are you doing? Sometimes you should do it, but not. Handle with care. Sometimes it's not a very to get near that stuff. You can't do it. It's good for someone else, not for you. Rather, it's not such a bad thing when people get a smack on the spot. Canker sores. I knew younger liked. Kids in my class told me when they spoke Lashon Hara, canker sores. People wonder, where did it come from? Canker sores. No vitamin C. They don't have a pshat. The last I heard about it has no pirush. Why do you get canker sores? I know the reason. Straight from Lashon Hara. I know a guy, every time he spoke Lashon Hara, oh my, he got a canker sore. He once couldn't swallow the matzah. Son. 2 days before Pesach, he screamed about something that was a mitzvah, of course. You know, a mitzvah Lashon Hara, you know. How dare so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And he was important. It was negayah to be mechanech and being this. So he asked his Rebbe, how can I get such a punishment? So his Rebbe said, because Einachinam, he had a mitzvah, but you had to know from that. You did a L'Shem Shem, but boy, you enjoyed that Lashon Hara. So you got, that's his Rebbe. Anyway, people get, that's a big schus, you know that? B'Ruchim speaks about it. When you get punished, I know 2 stories. I know both the Yungalite. Up Gehit and the Yungalite. They walk in the street, they don't look nowhere. this guy decided, he's still an American Harry, and he never looks anywhere when he goes in the street. He's a real tzaddik. And one day he decided, time for a break. A great guy like me? Why not? I'm a good guy. He's a tzaddik. The guy never looks. He walks in the street. He's careful. And one day he decided, he gives man a break. You don't have to be a tzaddik gomer. Tzaddik ain't a gomer. It's okay. There's a lot of stages. Let's go through a stage, ups and downs. What's the shlach? The Americans aren't. I don't know how serious, It's hard to make an American real serious. Once they get serious, they get too serious. You got worse problems. You have to know how to balance, how to be cool, chilled out, how to be serious. Anyway, he decided, I'm taking her, I promise you a true story. He walked out, he was at his chavrusa's house. Come down. He was at his chavrusa's house. And he had to go to the base medrash, which was 5 blocks away. I promise you it's a true story. The second he walked out of his chavrusa's house, boom, his eyes blurry, he couldn't see a thing. He mamish didn't see a thing. It's a true story. There's 2 stories, 2 different people. One happened here, one happened there. It's Israel. Same thing. He's blurred all over the place. Barely had to watch the cars. He could sense that much, but he couldn't see nothing. And it was a shah. What's going on? My eyes. And he chopped. He's not a Baal Rucha Kedah, but he chopped it. I know why this is happening. You decided it's mutalach to see whatever you want. Hashem's putting you in your place. And he told him, this guy, he had a feeling. As soon as I come to the base medrash, my problem's over. He comes to the base medrash, it disappeared. He never came back the rest of his life. And then another guy in Eretz Yisrael had the same thing. He decided to walk out somewhere down to Schus. You wanted those? That the Abishter gives you a little pop? That's terrific. Nothing terrible. Enjoy. Do tshuva. Ishkatalos. Little einish here and there. Rabbi says that's all. When he did something wrong, he once fell, and there's blood coming out of his nose. It was terrible. The whole family, he fell and cut himself, and everyone, emergency room. He said, no emergency room for me. Give me some cotton. He disappeared for 2 weeks. I'm going to find out why this happened. He figured it out. Boom, no more problems. By him, everything was, his wife told me this. Overnight, he would figure out why he had an earache. He just heard something. Why he had this ache, that. He chopped it, what it was. He did tshuva, and it was over immediately. You hear this? You want to speak to his Rebbe? I just spoke to a holy lady. She's a Novandig. She's not Stama Rebbe. She's the real thing. Anyway, but I don't recommend that stuff. Nolam's going to be busy day and night with Unshim and Unshim and Unshim and Unshim. I'm ready to, you know the message of Maggid says, if you get involved in Unshim, then you're looking for trouble. Watch out. You don't do that. Americans, most people, they cry, I know Hashem is punishing me. You don't do that stuff. Do you say Hashem is rewarding me? If you do that, then it's different. But there's a lot to do. There's so much work, you'll never get finished. Guys who sit and learn, even a little bit. Guys who come to a vod like this, forget it. You got your Olam Haba 100,000 times over, even if you walk away with nothing. Especially if you walk away with nothing. If Mandel's good and boring today, then you're going to get 100 vadim. You hear that? Mendel really messes up today. His jokes aren't good. I heard that one already. And it's not interesting. I think he's good. I don't know. Why did I come? If you're one of those, you were at 100 vadim. Here, I hold Lefum Tzara Agra is a mess mitzvah. No one appreciates it. From Tzara Agra, any person, any kind of tzar. It's a bracha to have. Yisurim, what are you talking? You know what they told me about it? Chaim Tovim Shalom, the Eibishter should help us all. It's Mitzvah Chanukah, we should thank him. The message, I had this ha'ara, and I found out one of the biggest Rabbanim Mlikuod said the same. Chanukah is thank your head off. From nothing, thank your head off. Well, you got to walk away with Hanukkah a new person. Now, let's start thanking. Your whole life will turn around. If you get in a thank you mode, your whole life, that's usually what's missing. But I'm davening for this, and I daven for that, and nothing happens, and I daven the hin, I daven the head. I want to tell you something. Yehuda and Yosef. There's an anticlimax going on here. Yosef is the man. There's no... The Alter Kelm got up, he heard a shmooze about Yosef HaTzadik from the Alter Kelm. Alter Novandik was sitting there. He got up, he banged, he says, let's become Yosef HaTzadik! And he meant it, and he did become. His name was Yosef. He was a rees. They say about him, a Malach Hashem Tzvokis, where the Steitler discusses his Rebbe, the Alter Novandik, Ish Kodesh V'Neira, the way he was harving and on his midas, where he was learning at night. He tells you, he wrote a poem, the Steitler, about his Rebbe, the Alter Novandik, a Malach. Can't describe him. They say he was the biggest from everybody. I don't want to go into details. Who was less? I don't get involved in that stuff. You can't be massive. How about? So Yosef is beyond. Suddenly, next week's Pasha for my Bטחון weeklies, if you don't mind, my head's already in Vayechi. I got to start getting material. It's fine. Right. Reb Chaim Kreisler told me I once had to make a parlor meeting for a certain place. They asked me to do it. I don't know why they asked me to do it, but because I worked my head off and get a vort on the parsha, and I went with sugar on the parsha. Then I got up and I said a vort on the parsha. As soon as I finished, Reb Chaim Kreisler, Zeichet Tzadik Bracha, the sweetest, holiest Jew in the world, he knew Kol HaTorah Kula. He used to come to Lakewood. He was always Gemaras. His Bekias was mainly in Gemaras. He knew Shas backwards, forward. He was a son-in-law of Avram Grudzinski from the Slobodka in Eliot. Anyway, so he got up and he says, Ich halt nicht von saying on the parsha. I don't believe in that whole stuff. And he was kaifa in the whole, say whatever you want. It's a free country. Let's up. Say whatever, let's up. So since then, if you notice, I'm not so orthodox. Stick to the rules. What rules? Just say something. It's good. Well, right. The covered passage by Yigash was saying whatever it is. But we gave it the shtempel by Yigash. It's done. But anyway, Vayechi, we're going to find a sudden twist. Yehuda is taking over everything. He's got Malchus. Yehuda! Ati! And the Klal Yisrael is called after him. What happened to Yosef? Yosef is the winner of winners. He's the whole world. You know, he saved the whole world. He saved the whole world from starvation. He was a malach. He is saved. Yehuda, Yosef, and Yaakov loved him more than anybody. What happened to him? Nitamo, Taran. Yehuda is the ganze Knaka. It always bothered me. How'd you get into this? Yehuda was problematic, I would to say such things about such malachim. But we want to understand Yehuda. Tamar, was that a good story? Not so great. What happened there? Malach pushed him, but it's not like Yosef with Potiphar. Potiphar, where he ran away from Chet. Yosef is a tzaddik, Yisrael Olam. Yehuda already said, I'm sorry, okay, very nice. And what else? And his sons died because they say, and Vayerim Eisachav, he could have saved Yosef, and he didn't. There's problems going on. You know that Yehuda lost his Olam Haba. You know that. You know the Gemara. Because he said, I don't bring back Binyam, lose my Olam Haba. So Gemara says, the tzaddik, he says, kill us. Chacham afilo atanayibo. You know, he didn't know how to learn. His bones were in trouble when they were carrying all the shvatim out of Mitzrayim. They're all sholdei kayim. It means they're whole. They were not alive, but they were whole, except for Yehuda. Yehuda's bones were rolling, terrible matzav over there, because he said that. Until Moshe Rabbeinu started davening, Zoisli Yehuda! That's what you give Yehuda. Chi Ruvain Val Yamaks. Ruvain looks okay. And Yehuda, that's what he looks like. Who caused Ruvain to be Maidal Emes? Yehuda was the first one. So right away, Moshe davens, you get service right away, back to normal. I mean, as good as anyone else. But they didn't let him into Olam Haba. You can't come in. You said you know Olam Haba, that's what happens. So Moshe daven, no, well, Amoy Taviano, it's all psukim over there. So he let him in. Comes in there, he doesn't know what's going on. Everyone's speaking and learning in Olam Haba, and Yehuda doesn't chap. So Moshe daven again, and he started chapping. But wherever he spoke and learning, he was always wrong. He couldn't give a teretz. He didn't. So Moshe daven until Yehuda became first class. So I got to say Gemara. Okay, anyway. Yehuda, how did this happen? That Yehuda suddenly becomes the ganze everything. What happened? I want to tell you the story of Venera. A tzaddik, the Chavis of Abba says, most tzaddikim abali tshuva. Abal tshuva is our man. Our man is not the Kodesh Meirachem. I'm sorry. You want to get depressed? Go read all the Gedolim stories. How they go get depressed. Rav Hod used to scream about it. Go, you get good depressed. Everybody knows the stories. Rav Chaim Kanevsky's wife, a tzaddik, there's no words to describe her greatness. Meifsim gluyim she had, what she was. But if a lady takes serious the whole book, I heard they got depressed left and right, all the ladies. You want to be like her? Go ahead. You couldn't do 2%, which she did one day. It doesn't mean you shouldn't read it. But, you know, Rabbi Yerucham says, write your own Mussar Sefer? That's what he means. Right? How great you are. The American Harry, what he had to go through. And Abba became a bidan yourself, l'kaf schus, constantly. That's what they said in Breslov. Tomid. Always. It's a constant job. Rabbi Levi Yisrael Medichim, they say he was always done people l'kaf schus. Every inch of his life, that's all he was doing. Kaf schus. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And the rest of us say on yourself, Tomid. You did it yesterday, you got to start all over again today. The HR's on your case, I did this one, man, no good. Be done, unless you're one of those guys that got to be put in your place. Sometimes it's good. So you never know. Anyway. Yehuda's the Baal Tshuva. The Baal Tshuva is the man. Now I'm going to tell you how to think about it. You know how many people call me up, Rabbi Mendel, I'm trying so hard. My bטחון doesn't work. You hear this coming out of my ears. We worked so hard on bטחון. You look like good and stressed thanks to your avodas bטחון. Bטחon is somehow supposed to relax you. So I told him, close the safe and eat ice cream. Take a hot bath. You worked on bטחון, right? bטחון. We got to get more bטחון. Listen. That's it. bטחon means relax. You know how many times? The first few pages I counted, it says the word menucha like 15 times. Every other word, menuchas. I once watched Reb Chaim Halper learning Shabbat. He said the same thing again and again 100 times. Menuchas nefesh habayteya. Menucha. Chill out, bugger. Menuchas nefesh habayteya. You got to do it right. You know, I want to tell you something. That's Novandik. Menucha, yeah? Now, the Kelma Menucha, Matasio, once told me, the Kelma Menucha meant bטחון. All right. Now, in Kelm, I'm going to, it's Kedai to hear this. Nosson Wachbergers, that's how I once got a hold of him and he said, I'm going to tell you something now. The chief of police in Kelm was a Kelma Talmud. He was a Ben Torah. The chief of police by the Goyim. He was the last word. They loved him. A yeshiva man. A Jewish, bad enough he's Jewish. He's a Kelma, a Balmusa. He was the chief of police. Now, when they came running, fighting, killing each other, imagine, Goyim get together, and he used to step in there, and he was super relaxed. It's just, as soon as he stepped in, the place melted because his personality is menucha. I'm working on it. There's hope. I don't even want to talk about it. The Americans, leave them alone. Americans, you can teach them how to do menucha. That's like in a glass case. It belongs in history, beyond history. But because we try a little bit, whatever you can do, hakol rava. It's healthy physically. It's healthy for everything in Shabbat. So he was like this. And his calmness made such a rushing. Everybody used to melt, and he solved it. He was very, very slow and deliberate. Now listen to this. Reb Nosson was once learning the Sha'urim together with this chief of police. You had to see Reb Nosson himself, the way he did things. He was slow. You needed patience. You have to see the way he ate. He was there forever. Eating was a whole avodah. Let's see you do it. Let's see you sit there for a year. Each spoon. So you'll lose your appetite. Reb Nosson, the way he ate. Mashiach is coming, and he's busy. It was a big avodah. It wasn't pushing. Let's see you do it. He went slow motion, the way he ate. Now, he told me that he was together with this chief of police learning the sales he showed. And the chief of police, and he was a kelmer himself who knew how to be slow. I remember Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky was a kelmer. You know that? He learned Slobodka. They say the Alta sent him to Kelm. He felt that Kelm was good for him. He fit in with them. He was both a combination of Yaakov. Anyway, so they were learning Mesilas Yesharim. So they started going. Remember, he started going slow. Started saying, here, let's start over here. First, the way you turn the pages. Yesoid, Chasidus. Now, Reb Nosson would do it like that. I remember it. V'shodesh, Avodah, Hatmima. Now, this chief of police used to stop him. You're going too fast. Where are you running? Reb Nosson told us to me, where are you running? Slow down. Let's try again. Yes. Said. You try that. On American, this is like torture. Ain't a riot putting your head of America. You get an American to do that. How's he going to do it? He's going to be sugar. It's not for us. What? Is that what? Like this. Reb Nosson. He used to do that. Yeah, Reb Nosson was nothing like it. You know, when he said, Archas Chaim LaRosh, he said that on Elul. The number one of the entire, it's beautiful, Rabbi said, Archas Chaim LaRosh is Gan Eden. Al tevar masecho. And the whole place was, there he goes. Place was on the floor. That was his favorite shtickle. Don't be a tumult guy. Let's see it. Anybody ready? Anybody interested? They're not even interested. The whole fun of life is being a basket case. Now, isn't it more fun when you're all stressed out? I want to tell you, I tried to be menuchadik for a while. I said, it's just no fun. Whatever, be a slow motion. I have a whole thing about that. But you should know, if you're given a chinuch, if you're sitting in Kelm, where you hear shmuzin of what menucha is, and how geschmack it is, and how great it is for your neshama and for your body, and what kodesh kadosh and menucha is a joke, it's everything. Then you can do it. You need to be brainwashed. Here we are being brainwashed. We got to do this. What do you do next? People feel important when they're doing things. Okay, now let's get things moving. Let's not waste no time. I decided after a while, I'm going to be one of those. At least I'm doing something. I'm going to try to be a kelva and get end up like who knows, you know. Anyway, chas v'chalila. Anyway, where are we up to? So let's get back. I want to talk about oil. Oil is a very, very menuchadika consistency. It's not, water, all other liquids move. Oil has plenty of time. I want to tell you the melech is oil. Yeah. He's Moshuach. He's oil. Yehuda. Hold on. Tati wants, Reuven says, my 2 sons, we got to go to Mitzrayim, Binyamin. And Yaakov says, no, I'm not listening to you, Reuven. So then the Shvatim, what are we going to do? Wait, hold on. No? Beautiful story. Yehuda has time. That's why he's Melech. Has time. Like oil. Slow. Wait till we're out of food, and then we'll talk. Hold on. Don't get excited. Yehuda said, no. I'll tell you something else about Yehuda. Yehuda is the one that says, I'm sorry. He's the one. Yosef, the name Yosef is Yosef li ben Acher. Let's have more. And we all have to have a Yosef inside us, or else we're not moving. You have to get up in the morning with a challenge, with ambition, with steiging, and be a Baal Gaivanik. Look at Yosef all over the place. He's a lesson for everybody. The way he held from himself. He made fun of Parai. Chei Parai! He told the Shvatim, like, by Parai's life. And Zok Rashi, just like Parai's life isn't worth a penny, so is my shvua not worth a penny. He was making fun of him, no? Is that what Rashi says? He was making a chayzik of Parai. Parai was scared of him. Parai was afraid he might kill us. You better listen to whatever he says. What did he say? Everybody has to have a bris milah? What did he say? Yeah? All you guys, take a bris milah? Yeah. He was a takif. Yosef. And he fouled him Parai to his face. First time he met him, he was fresh out of jail for 12 years. And Parai says, I heard you know how to interpret dreams. Well, it's not really me. It's the Yebishter. And Parai was so spoiled from him. He also started talking about, we see the Yebishter became a mom, and in 2 minutes, you speak to Yosef, and Yosef was nothing like him. And he was his father bowed down to him. It actually happened, and not only in the dream, Yaakov Avinu bowed down to Yosef. By the way, there's a medrash, you gotta see it, that at the end of their lives, they met each other. This Tkuf over here, and Yaakov told Yosef, you're better than me. I once kvetched, you never did. That's something. Something's a musahaskel, that someday, we'll get older, you look back at your life, you don't have chalata. When you had that in the sayin, did you kvetch or not? It's a thing to think about. Look later, like go fast forward. You'll be have many long, happy, healthy years. And you're already older. You're going to look back at your life. How much did you kvetch and how much did you... Well, how did you manage by that in the sayin that drove you up a wall? Did you calm down? Or did you get all excited? It's a big way to look at things. Anyway, so Yosef was, I always find it, he's in all this Indian of Gaiba the Kedusha, Vayibal Liboy, it's not shy, not being afraid of anybody. That's Yosef. Now, Yehuda. In Hanukkah, there's an Indian, the Mizbeach goes up. And means steiging. Rabbeinu here says it's all steiging. And each day is 1, 2, 3. You go up till 8 days. Chanukah you have to steig. How do you steig? By thanking all day? That's how you steig. You want to steig? You want to get what you want? Go the other direction. Don't give me this, give me that. How many people are frustrated because they want this, they want that? No. Stay where you are. Look back. Don't look forward. I want all day long. You're thinking, the present is meaningless to you. All you're thinking about is the future. Rabbi Miller says, the guy's in base bench, wherever it is, he's thinking, I'll be happy. As soon as I go home and open up the fridge and take out that watermelon thing, my mind is already on the watermelon from 2 hours from now. Your head's always, says Rabbi Miller, shame. You're always thinking of what's going to be and what's going to be. The way to go Yehuda the Baal Haidah, the thank you, the name. And all of us have to have that quality. Thank you means you're looking back. I just told somebody on the phone this. I had a tough customer. This person, Nebuch, has a whole bunch of problems in the family. I says, and they, yeah, we did that already. What'd you do? Yeah, bטחון. Yeah, we know that. What else? Davening. Oh, we daven. He say, tell them we got still them every other day. And it's going on. We're going nowhere again. And how about this? Oh, yeah. And we hear Golombek also. We know you. We know him. They know everything. What are you going to tell such a person? They know it. Goodbye. It's done. I says, I got an idea for you. And this person listened to me. I was surprised I actually got. I'm going to give me the answer. What do I do over here? When you got someone who knows it all, you're out of business. Can't deal with them. I says, do you have nachas in your family? It was a family problem, very serious problem. There any nachas? Oh, yes. Here it is nachas, and there it is nachas, and there it is nachas. And okay. How much do you say thank you? Oh, we say it all the time. Yeah, we're thankful. Yeah. Okay. I want you to sit down every single day. And your mind, 24/7, is on what's not nachas. All right? That's all you think about, talk about, and worry about. I want you to be hesachatas. I wonder how much the Eibishter likes that. That you're going around all day worrying about, oh, it's going to be. And it's all ruchnistic things and all, and it's feelings and it's rachmanis and all the good, Oh, you're supposed to be like that. But how about what you have already? I want one full half hour a day to write down all the good stuff going on in your life with the kids that are doing beautifully. Write it down. A full half hour and vocalize it. And then thank Hashem for yourself and for your spouse. Thank for half an hour. Watch what happens. I know Nisim with this mahalach. Thank what you already have. Now listen to this. Vigash of Yehuda. Yehuda's always moving. Why did it say Vigash? They all speak about it. And he approached. Who needs that extra word over there? They all speak about it. And Yehuda's always moving. That's Yehuda Shalach Geishna. He's the one to believe Yehuda Vayered Me'echa. He goes down. He's the one that got Binyamin. He's the first one to go back when they found the cup. Yehuda V'yecha. He's always moving. He's the first. He's the mover. You know why he moves? Because he's not involved all day, except his name is thank you. Thank you. The man who's always saying thank you day and night, he moves. You think he's going backwards. He's busy thanking for the half a shas that he finished. He's not going to move too much. Oh no, he's going to finish triple. Because a thankful person, the Welt says, the Goyim say this, a thankful heart is close to the treasures of the universe. It's a matzias. Thankful people go further. It's a trick. The guy that wants this and wants that, it's going to boomerang, bubby. Not always. Not always. Not always. No. The Mama Leah cried and it worked. You get yourself a Rebbe and decide exactly what you're going to do over here. I don't want to confuse everybody. There's a muckum for this, a muckum for that. You got to know. However, a person who's thankful is going to move. Yehuda moved more than any, because when you're thankful, you appreciate the past. You're able to seize that you're happy with what he gave you. You're going to move and turn over the world. Now, when Shaul HaMelech was killed, David HaMelech made a hesped. And he said, Lamed is b'nei Yehuda keshes. We got to teach them how to use bows and arrows. What's this bows and arrows? By the way, bows and arrows are all over the place, with Yehuda especially. Yaakov Avinu said, Yad Chabar Fe'ivecha means bows and arrows, Rashi says. And then it says David HaMelech, with one arrow, he used to kill 800 plishtim. Bows and arrows. What's this bows and arrows? By David. David is Yehuda. Yeah. A bow and arrow, you go in the room, hey, what are you going backwards for? Hey, where are you going here? What? We want to go that way. You ever see the way it works? You pull, you're going the wrong direction. The guy who says thank you all day, is going back. He's thanking what he already has, right? The guy who thanks whatever he has, the more he thanks, the more that arrow is going to fly and go places. That's what I want to tell you. Yehuda, that's Malchus. A king. He's got time. Everyone's running. Haste makes waste. Works the other way, Babala. The guy goes slow, he's going to get there. That's maybe why the oil that the Melech gets moshuch with oil. Oil is the consistency. He's a lazy guy, the oil. He doesn't, he's not running he's not pachaz kamayim, right? Water is rushing all over the place. Oil is calm, doesn't fly. It's a very mushy type of thing. Anyway, now I want to tell you the sugya of kavod. Someone just called me up. They offered him in Sheva Brachos. He didn't get a kibbutz. No kibbutz. So his wife, he comes home, and his wife says, "You got a kibbutz?" He says, "No, I didn't get a kibbutz. But I don't care." And his wife says, "Something tells me you do care." Now, I want to tell you something. The biggest compliment I ever got in my life, many years ago, was I was at a Sheva Brachos. Very few people were there. Everybody got a kibbutz except for me. I didn't have a white beard those days. Today they wouldn't dream of doing it. These old guys, you better make them happy. But kavod is by them, of course, never. You don't give them his kavod. It's not a joke. Older people, watch out. Kavod, they're mechazering for years and years. I need kavod, I need kavod, I need kavod. They're mechazering, and every time they don't get it, I'm in pain. All the pain. So the pain comes from not getting kavod. Do you know that? I cannot. You want to challenge me? I would tell you 90% of all the pain going on in every human being comes from not getting kavod. And the simcha that he gets, unfortunately, sometimes it's good. Enjoy the kavod. Sometimes, whatever. So he told me, Mendel, the balabas, after he finished the Sheva Brachos, Mendel, you're the only guy in this place that I felt doesn't really care if he gets a bracha or not. He gave out the Sheva Brachos, except to me. And then he told me, I felt you're the only guy. I never felt so good in my life. You know what happened the other time? There's a place that I speak for regularly, hundreds of people, and they love me. Their mouths are wide open. No one ever fell asleep in that place. Nuts over me. I've watched them all the time. How's he? This guy in the back, he likes it. This guy also likes it. They're all crazy over me. I'm so happy. Until one day, I overheard the two Gabbayim talking. They're discussing who's speaking next week. And one told the other one. They didn't see I was listening. Let Mendel speak. He never needs it. I'm joking. But Bekitzer, if you're looking for kavod, you're in the garbage can. You're going to have such a hard life. Every move you make, did they like it? Did they not like it? My with a wine crantz, a rav. You know what Rabbanim go through? You have to respect them big time. Every one of them. First, they deserve it. A rav, a manayil. There was a younger man who wanted to rebel against his manayil. He was a very, very chashuv younger man. He didn't like what his manayil did. He came over to me. I'm going to put him in his place. I says, my friend, in Novandik, they taught me, respect your manayilim. Respect your Rosh Yeshivas. What's with you? The Rosh Kodelim, you have to give a tremendous respect. Look, they're leaders. They're our leaders. They're working for us. Every one of them. You meet a manayil, respect them. Respect your Shibalite too. Oh, Shenemo. But anyway, so a manayil, this Rav was out of commission for 8 months. He was laid up in bed. either Epstein Barr or nervous breakdown. He was out of commission for 8 months. He couldn't budge until they said, Freg Weinkrantz. Ask Rabbi Weinkrantz. He's the man for the job. He lived in Borough Park, this man. They called Rabbi Weinkrantz to his bed. Weinkrantz asked him one question. Before you conked out, did somebody chepper you? Said, oh, yes. What happened? Tell me. Well, I'm the star rabbi in the whole area. I'm a fantastic speaker, eloquence. They love me all over the place. And by someone comes over to me and tells me, the other Rav is better than you are. And what happened afterwards? Right afterwards he got sick? Now you know where it comes from. Rabbi, you're right. Rabbi Weinkrantz, you're right. But I still can't move. What should I do? So he told him, you got a choice. Either learn Madregas or Adam that knows how to make a chayzik out of COVID, and you'll learn how to be a good Novandiga, or else take medication. A month later, he sees the man walking in the street, back to normal, smiling. He goes over, he says, you learned Madregas Adam? I took medication. So the Rabbi said, Rabbanim have a hard life. I'm serious. Very hard. Manalim, oh boy. Everybody, all therapists. A guy comes to see you, and he parks there once, and he never comes back. The therapist is devastated. The guy don't like me. And it happens every single day. These guys, how many, they get rejected. The best ones get rejected. You know how much stress they have? How am I doing with him? Manalim, my Moshid, his Moshid, they're doing better. No, I heard one parent. By the way, the compliments go over your head. Kach minhag ha'olam. All the compliments, they forget. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I heard that already. I know I'm a great guy. He probably doesn't mean it anyway. Did you hear? Our Moshid is not, they don't hold true. And then, you know what happened to me? This is one of my best stories. I tell it over. Merlam Demoso don't get, it's not as bad as Manalim. The ones who get, the higher your position, the more you're going to get. Because the Eibishter knows you're getting a lot of cover. He doesn't want you to lose your whole haba for all the cover you're getting. All those see the Kedushans, that costs. And all the people standing up for you and watching you with your 2 buttons in the back with the frock and everything. And your Hamburg. That costs. Sometimes you have to do it. Nothing wrong with it. But if I can't, it's a beginning, be b'chavadik. But you can lose a lot of ilam haba on the way. It's not so pushy. What Reb Chatzkel say, if somebody gets covered in this world, it's like eating kigel Erev Shabbos. You blew it. You've been in Shabbos, you have no appetite. Ilam haba, yeah, you're covered, zayme gesund. Next time you see people getting covered, say, Baruch Hashem. I'll say mine for Yanavelt. But the Eibishter does them a chesed. All these guys suffer. I'm guarantee you, Rosh Kaidalim, all the guys with the big Mitzuyana, the big Iluyim, there's another side going on that you don't want to hear about. Anyway, the Kitzur. So, a Rav, I know a lot of Gracie Yidden. Chashav Yidden. I have this call from New York. This guy's at Rebbe, and he's all depressed. He says because the Olam doesn't come to him anymore. They don't like him. His friends, this guy rejected him. My minion's getting smaller. He looks, every time he comes into his shul is it's a torture chamber. Every time he comes into his shul, he looks around. Who's here? He said, he doesn't like me. I said something. I didn't say something good to him yesterday. I should have comforted him better. I thought with him. And how am I doing with so-and-so? They don't like me. You think it's easy to be a Rav? I just saw this brought down in a sefer. A Gedula, it's brought down. Who says this? And I must have said Gedula, it's not, it's a Gemara. Whereas a Diak, yes. So, the Gedula is not considered a great thing. Other things are good, but not Gedula. Because Gedula means You got so much stress. When you're at a rush, whatever it is. So much. Don't envy them. Do me a favor. And if you are, nishkefelach, if you're in Novandig especially. What, Rabbi Yeshin used to do? When he used to get together with Choshev with Gedolim, he always looked for a seat in the back. Listen to this, Maisi. This is how full of a fellow. One of my Hasidim, I repeated this a few times, it's okay, hold it needs chazon. This fellow was traumatized as a child many, many times. He went through Sheva Maduri Gehenim. He's a tzaddik yesodeh. This guy was a little bit, whatever he was. And he heard Mendel for 2 months, and you couldn't recognize the guy. He made a turnaround in his whole life. He said goodbye to all his therapists, because Mendel says don't be afraid of people. And Hatov b'makam akpada, he's into that. You know what he does? He goes, there's a group, he was not politically correct in his younger years, in his shul, whatever it was. They were making a get-together. That destroyed his life for him. And he heard about it. And they lived 2 hours away. You know what the guy did? He took a trip special to be there, to sit in the back, to be ignored. He went there almanas to be ignored. That's why he's so healthy today. He's a new person. He's so full of simcha. Why? Because he does pulis to get bizyanis. You want to be a lucky person? Get yourself, become a Rosh Chabura in Lakewood, and ask for the smallest Chabura. The smallest, but the guys that aren't so, into it. And make sure you're right next door to the guys that are screaming their heads off, that each guy has 100 each of Mitzyanim, and park yourself right there. And ask for it. You want to know what I once did? Do you know what that does to you psychologically? I knew a younger man, he had trouble with his kids. His kids he was afraid of his kids. It's a common problem. You have a child that's a teenager that's rebelling. Boy, you scared stiff. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I turn them off? It's a favor. The kids, I'm telling you, the parents are much more afraid of the kids than the kids of the parents. This world today, it's a different mahalach. Kabe es bincha. But here's the story. So this guy was so afraid of his kid. He had a kid that was very strong personality. He's different. He's like an Abel Yid. And he comes to me and he says, I can't even walk in. When his teenage son comes in, he gets all stressed out. Yankee just came. What should we do now? What did he do wrong again? You parents don't know how to raise children. That's an old problem. Look what you did to me. You messed me up. Okay, I'm joking. But there's plenty of people going around like that. Lamaisa, I told him, Dafka, go into the room where he is. Dafka, where he does his whatever it is. He became a new person. You do a pula against your fear. You know what that does to you psychologically? Dafka, look for that situation. Now look, there's somebody talking. And at the end of davening, they're schmoozing, you're a guy, everyone's listening to him. He doesn't do well with you. The eye contact, you're not one of his. Go dafka there. I came here for bizyanis. I love that stuff. You want to be a free bird? You want to be a happy person? Do those things. Reb David Blacha, Zatzal Dalt from the Novandig's biggest Talmud. He said, when you see bizyanis in front of you, run after bizyanis. See covered, get lost. I don't want this. I don't want to get bizyanis. You don't have to do it day and night. You'll go Meshuggah. You'll turn into a guts. Reb Nosson, people, Reb Gershon, they could do these things on a Kviyastika Mahalach. It didn't bother them because they were secure. They're big Yerusha mind. They didn't care what people thought. But the average guy, take a break from your 24/7 concern about what people are saying about you and do something a little different. And do it bedafka. Go to a matzav where you know it's not appreciated. Or you're not going to get no cover. This guy took a 2-hour trip, sat there a full hour or two, watching everybody having a party, and he was Mr. Odd Man Out, who didn't fit in. They're from way back. They weren't nice to him. And He came to get a chazara of the old good old days, to get some more, and he sat there and became a new person. You do a maisa. I don't care about any of this stuff. By the way, I'm hearing that some of those same people are running after him now. How did you get so much self-esteem? Also read Mandel's. Anyway, Bekitza. So to get, now you have to, even though I talk a lot about self-esteem and that stuff, but there is a time and place to be mafkir your covet. Make a decision. I'm mafkir my covet. I'm telling you, Maisa. Don Segel, the Zangzutstadt, told me he was in Bnei Brak, and he was go Gewaldig. He was in Bnei Brak. Naim Shneim, what do you call it? The second round. So, he's in Bnei Brak, and he saw Rabam Bloy, and there was a Hafganah. Usually the Hafganah is where I didn't stand in Yerushalayim, but something, the setting here, but maybe I heard wrong. I heard Bnei Brak. And and he watches Rabam Bloy, the big Hanoi, walking straight into the riot squad with their clubs, ready to blast you if you're there, And he was going to scream for Shabbos, and he watched Rabam Bloy walking. He had no fear whatsoever. And he says, "What's with you?" Rabban Segel, he was a younger. He says, "How do you do that? You have no fear." You know what Rabban told him? Ich hab schon lang mafkir gewein alle meine Beine for the Eibishter. You did that one. A long time ago, I said, boom, I gave it away for the Eibishter. I don't care about my body. It's a done deal. That's psychologically, if you're mafkir, the problem that kills you is you're not hefker. You're guarding your covet 24/7, whether you realize it or not. You're concerned about how well am I doing? Don't make a wrong move, they're not going to like it. You see, okay. You see, when I'm talking Barabba, I have a lot of nisyanis, because I want my audience to listen. As much as I say I don't need covet, I want them to listen. Think I'm against did I go over here? But I'm going to give you a muscle. The Meir Chadash, he was from Slobodka. When you talk to him, he was not under pressure to keep talking. All people who keep talking, like all of us, we're under pressure. The other wants to hear. And you got to keep moving to show you know something. Don't think this guy's out of it. Meir Chodesh can keep you sitting there for a full minute on the clock. He didn't care. I once met a Gerach Chassid like that, a very chashuv Gerach, same thing. I went to visit him in Borough Park. I was told he's a special tzaddik. Fought me on, didn't say a word. That's a good prat. And not afraid. You gotta find ideas for pratim, not to care what people think, not to be stressed out. I may lose my customers. You have to become a manayil of a new ma'aseh that has only the worst kids in town. Exclusive. And it has to have a real, not quite the way you like things, the way the building looks and the way everything. You want to conquer covet, you'll be happy. If you do it lachatchila like that, you will be so happy. You become a new person. You go lachatchila, I'm going. Now learn Musa while you do it. Misos Yisharim, even though the Novandigas are very into Cheves Albavis, but when it comes to covet, they run. Shara Kniya, of course, in Cheves Albavis is Gevaldik. Here there's Nekias. Rab Nosson used to always say, did you learn the last half? I'm not sure it was the last, whatever. Sharnakias. He speaks over here about covet. Boy, does he do a job. You need to see this every single day, because you're going to forget. Midas Hanakias, the way he puts it down, the way he says it. No, that's the wrong one. Where does he have it? Whenever I look, I never find it. Ever. Whenever I'm looking for something in front of the Olam, I never find it. It's a prat. That's why it's great to be in a Vardiga. And all the mistakes I made, he means a prat. That's also a prat. It's not a prat, it's never. Nah, it's a prat. So it's ain't a prat. Klali shel davar. A kavod hu adechik. Ki ef shalai lisba v'lerai says atzbay pachas mechaveroi. In the Vardiga, you saw that pachas mechaveroi. This kid was having trouble in school. The mother came running to her wine krantz. Pachas mechaveroi. Pachas mechaveroi. Pachas. That's one of them famous. You don't want to be pachas. Pachas mechaveroi. Shtusen. Pachas mechaveroi. That's covered. Al davar zeh nishlu rabim v'ne'avodu kairach. Lost his. Look what happened to him. Kairach yirab ben avot lost his olam haba because of covet. Moshol HaMelech hunted David because of covet. Yoav killed Amasa because of covet. Covet. Now listen, now you know where Navadi comes from? Closure David covet, who had dochik, as Leva Adam Yasa, Mikol Hachukais Vachendai Sheba Oilam. Number one, Belulay Zeh, Farhaya Adam is Ratza Lechem Hashiucham. Eat whatever it is. Navadi, you know what? You don't like that steak? You don't like the beans? You like the steak? In Navadi, they don't hold taste buds. No way. Covet. Doesn't pass. I'm a steak guy. I'm an American Harry. We eat steak. Beans, come on. That's what they hold. Even Taiva, they hold it's really covered. They have a point. Lil Baish Masha Yachasa. The house don't look good. Parnasasi kala love. So you don't make so much money. You don't get so much sugar. But you can't see yourself pachas mereyav. And you start doing things and you're looking for who knows what that's never going to happen. Kavod amaduma. It's a myth. Kavod u'min